Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe for more thought-provoking stories and insights. Hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Imagine trading a throne, a symbol of ultimate authority and power, for something as humble as a trough. A complete reversal of fortune, a deliberate exchange of the grandest stage for the most unassuming. Infinite power, the ability to command universes, exchanged for the cries of a hungry baby. The vulnerability of new life, the dependence on others. A stark contrast to omnipotence. What could possibly motivate such a trade? What if the creator of galaxies, the architect of the cosmos, the one who spoke stars into existence, chose to become one of us, to leave the celestial realm and enter the earthly one? What if he chose to put on skin, to experience the limitations of human form and walk our roads, to feel the dust between our toes, the weariness in our bones, the joys and sorrows of mortal life? This is the central claim of Christianity, the audacious, transformative belief that God entered our world not as a conquering king, not with armies and fanfare, not to seize power, but as a helpless infant, born into poverty, lying in a manger. A humble beginning for the one who holds all things together. He didn't just send a message through prophets or angels. He became the message, the living embodiment of God's love and intention for humanity. He stepped into our mess, into the brokenness and pain of our world, choosing to feel what we feel, to walk where we walk, to experience the full spectrum of human emotion. The one bigger than space and time, the eternal, infinite God, became small enough to be held in a mother's arms. A paradox of immense proportions. Why? Love. A love so relentless, so unwavering, it would stop at nothing to reach us, to bridge the gap between divinity and humanity. The Incarnation, God becoming flesh, is the cornerstone of our hope, the bedrock upon which our faith is built. God is not distant, aloof, or uncaring. He is with us, intimately involved in our story, present in our struggles and celebrating our triumphs. God stepped into our skin, embraced our humanity, and shared our existence, and nothing would ever be the same again. The world was forever changed by this act of divine love and solidarity. Before the manger, before the shepherds arrived with their flocks, before the star guided the wise men from the east, before the very foundations of the world were laid, there was the Word, Logos, existing in perfect harmony with the Father, a concept that transcends our human understanding. Eternal, divine, the very agent of creation, the blueprint upon which all things were made. He was not simply present, he the creative force. John writes, "In the beginning was the Word," a profound statement that echoes through the corridors of eternity, and the Word was with God, existing in perfect communion, and the Word was God. The very essence of divinity, present from the beginning. Through him, every star, each a fiery beacon in the vast expanse of space, every cell, the building block of life, intricately designed and perfectly formed, every living thing came into being. From the smallest microbe to the largest whale, all owe their existence to him. The hands that flung stars into space, scattering galaxies like dust across the canvas of the cosmos, would become tiny infant hands, fragile and new, reaching out in the darkness of a humble manger. The voice that spoke light into darkness, banishing the void with a single command, would learn to speak our language, to whisper comfort and proclaim truth in a way we could understand. The infinite became an infant, the boundless confined to the limits of human flesh. The timeless entered time, eternity compressed into the fleeting moments of a human life. The baby in the manger was not just a teacher or prophet, not merely a wise man offering guidance. He was and is the everlasting God, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. The Word who was present at the dawn of time, the architect of the universe, stepped into a stable in Bethlehem, a small and insignificant town, yet destined to be the birthplace of salvation. This is the beautiful scandal of the gospel. The King of Kings, choosing a manger over a throne, he did it for you. He humbled himself, taking on the form of a servant, all for the sake of your redemption. The Creator became creation, bridging the infinite gap between God and humanity to reach us, to offer us a path back to himself, a love that knows no bounds. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. This isn't just a poetic phrase, it's a radical declaration. It speaks of a closeness, an intimacy that defies comprehension. The creator of the cosmos, the sustainer of all things, chose to make his home not in a palace but among us in the everyday messiness of human existence. Let that sink in. Really let it resonate within you. God didn't just appear human, a fleeting illusion, a temporary disguise. He became human, fully and completely. He embraced our limitations, our vulnerabilities, our very mortality. He took on flesh and blood, with bones that could break, susceptible to the same pains and frailties we all experience. He possessed a heart that could ache, capable of feeling the full spectrum of human emotion, joy, sorrow, love, and loss. The divine pitched his tent among us, a deliberate act of dwelling, of making his abode with humanity. Just as God's presence once filled the tabernacle, a sacred space set apart for communion and worship. But now, God's glory wasn't hidden behind a curtain, veiled from human eyes and accessible only to a select few. It was visible in Jesus. His very being radiated the divine presence, making God accessible to all who would seek him. The veil was torn, signifying the removal of the barrier between God and humanity. This tearing happened not in a temple, a building of stone and mortar, but in a person, a living embodiment of God's grace. God walked our streets, experiencing the dust and the heat, the joys and the sorrows of everyday life. He ate our food, sharing meals with friends and strangers alike, nourishing both body and soul. And he spoke with our voices, communicating truth and love in a language we could understand. Jesus is the new tabernacle, the ultimate dwelling place of God among humanity. He is the living, breathing presence of God on earth, Emmanuel, God with us. He didn't shout love from a distance, from the heavens above, a detached and impersonal decree. He whispered it from a manger, a humble and intimate declaration of his unwavering affection. He moved into our neighborhood, becoming a part of our community, sharing in our joys and sorrows. He began experiencing our world from the inside out, understanding our struggles and temptations, our hopes and our fears. The God of the universe became one of us, bridging the gap between the divine and the human. This wasn't just a fleeting visit, a temporary sojourn, but for a permanent move, an eternal commitment to be with us. This is the shocking beauty of the Incarnation, the unfathomable mystery of God becoming man. It's a love story written in straw and swaddling clothes, a testament to his boundless grace and unwavering devotion to humanity. The coming of Jesus bridged the gap between heaven and earth. For ages, humanity longed for connection with God, but our efforts always fell short. Then God built the bridge himself. Heaven came down in the person of Jesus. In him, the divine and human are perfectly united. Jesus is the intersection of two worlds. God's holiness meets our humanity, his love meets our need. People saw heaven's glory in a human face, heard wisdom in a human voice, felt love through a human touch. God is not distant. He is Emmanuel, God with us. He entered our timeline, our geography, our culture. The story of Jesus is heaven invading earth with a mission of love. The chasm was bridged not by stone, but by God himself. It's one thing to say God became human. It's another to realize he lived as we do. Jesus had a body. He felt hunger, exhaustion, joy, sorrow, and pain. He laughed, wept, and even slept through storms. He was fully God and fully man, with no exemption from the human condition. He felt righteous anger, deep compassion, and profound sorrow. He was tempted, tired, misunderstood, and betrayed. God knows what it's like to be us. He gets it. This is a God who gets his hands dirty touching lepers, eating with outcasts, washing feet. He entered our mess, choosing relationship over distance. The Incarnation proves there's no place beyond his understanding and love. He didn't just want to fix us, he wanted to be with us. Jesus' birth was the fulfillment of centuries of promises. Prophets spoke of a Messiah, a Savior, a King from David's line, a suffering servant. Every prophecy, every covenant, every hope pointed to him. Jesus is the yes to all God's promises, the true temple, the perfect sacrifice, the forever King. He didn't abolish the law and prophets, he fulfilled them. The story of Israel was always leading to him. The manger is proof. God keeps his word. The hopes of generations were not in vain, and neither is our hope today. Jesus is the living proof of a promise-keeping God. The Incarnation leads directly to the cross. The cradle points to the crucifixion. God became human so he could die in our place. Only a human could pay the penalty for human sin, but only a perfect human could do it. Jesus, fully God and fully man, was the only one qualified to bridge the gap. Without the Incarnation, there could be no atonement. He took on flesh so he could shed his blood for our forgiveness. He became like us to die for us, defeating death itself. God's love was not just a feeling, It was action, willing to go to the ultimate length. He was born to die so we could be born again. The journey from manger to cross is the greatest rescue mission ever. The incarnation wasn't temporary. Jesus remains fully God and fully man forever. He rose with a glorified body and ascended with it right now. A man sits at God's right hand. Our nature has been brought into the heart of the Trinity. Jesus is our eternal brother, our human representative before the Father. His scars are eternal trophies of love. He is our high priest, able to sympathize with our weaknesses. He remembers what it's like to be us. His resurrected body is the promise of what ours will be. Our destiny is not to be spirits in the clouds, but fully restored humans in a new creation. Jesus is forever God, forever man, our pioneer and our king. The Word became flesh. God put on skin and is still human today. This truth changes everything about how we live. Your body matters. God honored the physical world by entering it. You are never alone in suffering. Jesus understands your pain firsthand. Your ordinary life has extraordinary meaning. God dignified the mundane by living it. Holiness is found in faithful living, not escaping the world. Every moment is infused with divine significance. If God moved into our neighborhood, we're called to do the same, embodying His love to a hurting world. The incarnation isn't just to be believed, it's to be lived. So, how will you let this truth become flesh in your life today? And if this message touched something deep inside you, don't keep it to yourself. There's someone out there silently struggling, and your share could be the lifeline they've been waiting for. Leave a comment below, even if it's just, "I'm still here." It might give someone else the courage to hold on to. And if you want more hope-filled, faith-rooted content like this, go ahead and subscribe. Let's walk this journey together. You are not alone, and this is not the end of your story. Hey, if this message touched something deep inside you, don't keep it to yourself. There's someone out there silently struggling, and your share could be the lifeline they've been waiting for. Leave a comment below, even if it's just, "I'm still here." It might give someone else the courage to hold on to. And if you want more hope-filled, faith-rooted content like this, go ahead and subscribe. Let's walk this journey together. You are not alone, and this is not the end of your story.